There you go, folks. Gotta love that timing. Had to pull a little Clark Kent Superman change of clothes deal right there, real quick. But how's it going, folks? What's the deal? What's the scoop? MCU's Bleeding Edge of the channel podcast in the house. Secret Invasion Disney Plus series, episode 1 review. About to get after it. Right from jump. Shout out to all of you in the MCU fandom. It's good to be back. I guess, reviewing for you again, right? And engaging with you again and whatnot. We love all of you, except for the ones that love She-Hulk. And, sorry, my bad, Cyber. I apologize. I forgot about that. Now, I just want to, again.
Huh?
I dropped the name I'm not supposed to mention.
Okay, enough with the not saying She-Hulk. You can say She-Hulk all you want.
Okay, I'll say She-Hulk then. I can say She-Hulk again, folks. Anyways, folks, I'm moderating this evening. My good friend and co-host Cyberneticshark will be taking on episode 2. Andres, the pop culture guy, is here to hold down the panel with Cyber. And we're going to just jam right through this bitch. So do us a solid. The links in the description for Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel, for Andres' YouTube channel. Please make sure that by the end of this Secret Invasion Disney Plus review series, you get them up to 1,000 subs. Simple as that. And ring that damn bell for the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So you see us when we're live. Then check us out. And if you want to like that, if you want to like it, if you want to subscribe, go ahead. All of you who watch our videos as video form, we appreciate you. And hey, we're almost at 25,000K. So we definitely appreciate that. Gentlemen, Andres, it's good to see you, brother. Cyber, good to see you too. Cyberneticshark, how does it feel to be back covering Marvel Disney Plus again?
I mean, it's great to finally be covering another MCU show. Finally, it's been a while since we did one, so it's really fun to finally have a new one to talk about. Since our main objective was the MCU. For those out there, when we started this content creation out, and it's nice to have some actual Marvel to talk about. So yeah, it's great.
Andres, now this is your first time, and I want to welcome you, to joining us Andres has been nothing but a fucking soldier over here on the Bleeding Edge panel here for a minute. Right? And at the end of the day, I just wanted to ask you, how does it feel for you, brother? Have you ever done a Disney Plus Marvel series? Have you ever reviewed one of them episodically before?
Yeah. When I started my second channel, it was mainly Marvel Plus talk. So I talked all weekly on all the Disney Plus Marvel content. So, and last year I had to rebrand a little bit, to be more DC and Marvel now, So
no,
yeah,
it was interesting to me when you mentioned the Marvel Plus thing, because we know a guy named Brett that comes in the comment section sometimes. I forget the name he goes by when not and everything. I've recorded with him before, and his podcast is actually called Marvel Plus.
Yeah. So my Richard channel was Marvel Plus channel, and my main podcast was Marvel Plus stuff. But now I extended it to DC.
Well, I will mention one thing, folks. Honestly, I am actually on Monday starting the first episode. Yeah, I'm actually going to do episodes of the MCU Bleeding Edge Report, which is going to be a new show that I'm going to do right at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It'll be my first one. And it's just going to be a straight fandom news, rumors, leaks type show. Wide open. I'll cover everything fandom, and that's all it is. Simple as that. No big deal. Just another show to add to the week. In the meantime, I'm excited as shit. Cyber and I have been talking about this. Andres and I have been talking about this. The people who aren't here tonight, we still want to, say, we appreciate them and we want to, thank them. John, and Kendra were supposed to be on with us and whatnot. They both had valid reasons not to come on. They're going to be back for episode 2. We'll have other people on the panel for, throughout the series, whatnot, everything. Honestly, with Kendra, I really feel bad because she really wanted to review the episode. She did. But she has a family emergency, and we wish you the best. We hope everything's okay with your family, Kendra. In general, folks, no, I'm pumped. I'm stoked as hell for Secret Invasion. I really am. I still am. What do you guys think? Andres, overall, right? Just to sort of, I guess, flip the script and not, and kind of go in a different direction with the review. Overall, from the way it started in the first couple of minutes to the way it ended in the last couple of minutes, did it hold up, I guess, to what you expected it to be to some extent?
Yeah, I think so. I think the series deliver on its how you say it, dark, like espionage thriller that they are talking about in the show, like Winter Soldier / Black Widow style. So yeah, just totally see that with the way we didn't see the Marvel Studios logo at all. It's, I mean, that's kind of not a note thing or happened because I think I missed that.
They gave us a different version. The intro was a different version. It's a newer version that I think they're going to use for just the Disney Plus Marvel series.
Yeah, I think in my Disney Plus account they didn't show it to me, so I'll probably have to wait for next week. But anyway, that's good. I think the way you like the score, like the way the the location and the low keyness of this episode really show you that okay, they're being serious. It's not your typical superhero affair, or the comedy kind of style you saw from the last Disney Plus show we all talked about with She-Hulk. So fresh air, so to speak. But man, I really love Samuel L. Jackson. I was very excited to have a Nick Fury centric show. So I think Secret Invasion was a good choice. There's minor gripes I have for this episode. I thought as a start episode they get you right away with the conflict and the villain. So it was okay. I mean, I guess I was it's like if I guess for me it's like if you read the comic Secret Invasion, like I do warn people to keep their expectation low, because this is a totally like loosely based on the graphic novel. But at the same time, I enjoy it. I think it's the better fares we had recently. Like I probably put this as fourth after maybe like for me Hawkeye, Loki, and WandaVision. I think this is top tier. Yeah.
Well,
Me.
hey, we haven't even review the whole season yet. Let's wait before we start ranking it and everything and whatnot.
No.
No.
One episode, it's done.
That's it. Okay. All right, Andre.
Yeah.
You say so. That completely contradicts my whole premise earlier with you and whatnot in the studio, but that's okay. Inside joke, Andres. Cyber. Same question to you, sir. What were your expectations, Cyber? Obviously, like Andre said, we knew we weren't going to get a actual. There'd be no way for them to pull together an actual Secret Invasion comic book version, right? That it'd be too extensive. It would involve too many characters. We don't even have an Avengers team right now, right? But what were your expectations and were they met? Do you think in the first episode?
So, I really have no expectations going into because of how the last few years of Marvel content and just content in general of any film series or any films, just how they've been because of the pandemic that happened, and so everything is still being shuffled around, trying to be refigured and re-put together. So I really didn't have any expectations. I don't know anything about Secret Invasion comics, so I going into this as an open book. So going in, I was hoping it'd be good. I'm hoping that it would be decent, that I would be entertained. Of course, in that general sense. And I mean, I was really entertained. I really enjoyed how it went. I like how that it was fast paced, that it got right into the material because with these shows sometimes they drew them out too long, and it take too long to really get to a certain point. And so I like it that they went right into it, especially with these episodes being an hour long and they're only doing 6 episodes. I'm liking that they're really getting into the meat and giving you all the information each by episode. So I think it's a good indication that this is kind of, they're finally starting to get back into that run of listening to the audience and giving them what they want. And so I think that this first episode really was very promising. I really enjoyed it. like I said in the studio earlier, it's just the ending that really got me. I was a little pissed about. Other than that, the whole episode up to that point was fantastic. I liked the whole indications of everything. I like the look. I like all the acting, the cinematography, the CGI was all done very well. Really great start, I think.
Moscow always looks great, doesn't it? In movies and everything, whatnot, when they show Moscow and all that, whatnot,
Yeah.
it always does look kind of beautiful in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I always think it does, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Andres.
Yeah. I thought it's because like it's been 2 years now since the pandemic. It feels more like the city like it feels more alive and like we're in like a real world compared to other Disney Plus shows where you feel like they're in the studio, something like that. But yeah, I mean, Moscow's
the pandemic didn't even happen in Russia, bro. Putin just told his people that it was we did it. You know what I'm saying? It was
that's true. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Wow, I'm really sorry for the Moscow viewers and Russian people that listening or watching this podcast. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm dearly sorry.
Hey, you know what? You're right. I don't. There are Russian MCU fans. I've met them before. Honestly, and Cyber, I haven't had a chance to tell you about this, but we actually have some exciting international collaborating going on soon, folks. We're actually going to be hanging out and recording with some Australians again. We love Australians.
You did tell me about that, sir.
I did? Oh, okay, I did. I'm sorry. Folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, my memory's not so good sometimes. Maybe I'm a Skrull. Who knows? Like they only when they vaporized my head or whatever and whatnot with the vapor thing, and took my mind, they only got parts of it. They fucked it up, right? Either way. Cyber, great points, man. Honestly, I think it's really, really authentic of you. And like really genuine of you. And I really like it. I know how I feel about the fact that I love the fact that you're coming in there with that fresh take, right? I did go back and reread Secret Invasion. I did before the series. Just for shits and giggles, I reread it. On Marvel Unlimited, but it doesn't really do you any good for the series. It doesn't, because I mean, again, this mimics it, but it's nothing like it. So if anything, I think that's great. I think it's just totally bleeding edge style, Cyber, for you to come right out and be like, you know what, I came in with a fresh take, and I think it's a great attitude in general for MCU fandom. It's like, hey, like Cyber said, we've had some rough shit happen. Pandemic, some series weren't so great. The quality's starting to come back. It is. And I think that this episode, as Cyber said, really indicates that quality is coming back. And I don't know what you guys think. Andres, I think the casting is absolutely excellent on the series. I think the casting is absolutely outstanding. It is like Andor level.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, you got Olivia Colman here. So come on. You got the Oscar winner here, so it means a lot. So, this is definitely the best casting. Marvel has done a good job of casting. The Skrulls, Skrulls, Skrulls are amazing in this show, and I'm very intrigued who else is a Skrull here as a celebrity. So anyway, so so I just love every actor here. Olivia Clark is here. She's great. I was very happy that we got a lot to do with her in this episode. It was great. I like the reveal that she's the daughter of Talos. Actually, you guys have major complaint about the ending. I have one complaint, was the death of the wife for Talos. I did not like.
Hold on. No, hold on. Now, let me rephrase my question, and let me just actually jump into the episode. Okay. Now,
sure.
Now I'll go right to you. I'll go right back to you, Andres. The intro is really, like Cyber said, it really just delivers the whole fucking landscape of the series right from jump in one shot, in a really well acted scene. Really, like a really well acted, really well done scene. Right. Now, I don't know about y'all, but like I immediately saw Ross, and I was like, wait a minute, Ross is on the fucking run. Like Ross is not an actual official member of the CIA or whatever, whatnot. Like after Wakanda Forever, he escaped and whatnot. He's a fugitive from the law. So like, that I thought that was a little bit weird, right from jump. I knew somebody had to be a Skrull at that point. I don't know about y'all, but I knew it. I'm like, wait a minute here. How is he even here? Like, why would an agent even be talking to him? He's not even active, right? Like, yeah. At the same time, though, he's able to contact Hill for extraction. So that kind of did miss me a little bit. But it's a really well acted, really well done scene. I love the actor that plays Everett Ross. He's great. He's really good as that, in that role. I forget his name. Cyber, you might be able to jog my memory.
Martin Freeman.
Freeman.
Martin Freeman. Yep. No, he does a great job. Freeman. Yes.
Freeman. I say.
Now,
Freeman.
now, like, just to be clear now, you guys, I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Andres, did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, unfortunately.
Cyber, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I've seen the first 3 seasons.
Okay. So did you realize that the actor in that scene, the agent, I think it's Agent Barrett, Prescott, he's actually he's from Game of Thrones. He was Dondario. God, I wrote it down somewhere in my notes if I could just find it. Anyways, basically the actor himself, I just can't find my index card where I have it written down. But he was in the Game of Thrones, just like Emilia Clarke was in the Game of Thrones. Was my point. He was excellent. I really enjoyed him in that intro. And you're right, Cyber. They did a great job of the pacing. I thought that intro was amazing. Great way to start off the intro, start off the episode, to just kind of lay everything right out, like, and build up the sort of espionage, yet also alien invasion Skrull deal, right, with the shapeshifting and whatnot from jump. They presented it very well. So Andres, what did you think of that intro scene? Us finding out, of course, that the character that we thought was trying to out the Skrull invasion was Talos, right? And that we end up, getting Maria Hill again, right? And we get to see right there, we get our first Skrull, other than Talos.
Yeah. So this was a pretty good intense scene. Like right away you basically with Agent Prescott, who's briefly the crazy conspiracy nut that is telling this, supposed Agent Ross, which we don't know that's actually a sleeper agent Skrull, SKRULL, getting something that's related to the plot that we are going to discover in this first episode. It is very intense. Like it's basically like, I mean, I don't know. You guys seen the films, like the conversation from President Ford Coppola, or it's like the Samuel Jackson's film. It started with the awful Kevin Spacey.
Snakes on a Plane.
No, oh god. But I mean, imagine Skrulls on a plane. I had it with this mother effing Skrulls and this mother effing plane. Oh god, that'd be great. Anyway, but yeah. So this scene was really intense, and I was just shocked when that guy just jumped at Ross and then like tried to strangle him, which was crazy. And his death was like brutal. So I was very happy right away. We were like, okay, this is going to be adult kind of show, so that's good. It was great to see Marie Hill here. So it's great that she knows Ross, and so like he probably has contact with Fury since I guess after Wakanda Forever. But we'll see. That part I'm a little confused. Like, I hope they can address Ross here because, like, I don't want them to be throwing out the timeline. Like the last time he's on was Wakanda Forever. So I hope we address Ross like where is he at this moment? You know, like we know he's on the run. Like I get that, but like we need to do more detail. But hopefully he pops up again in the show. So I know there's footage we saw from the trailers. Like he popped here and there, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so after that, and then seeing Talos, it's was great, and you know, I was Mary Hill was kind of shocked to see Talos, so that was kind of interesting, and especially the build up to Nick Fury. You know that we know that Nick Fury has been on Earth, like hasn't been on Earth. We don't know how many years, all that. So which we'll get into this episode. So by the way, this part was really great. It got you hooked. I thought it was much better opening compared to other Disney Plus shows. So yeah, this was a good start. Yeah, and especially I was so excited to see Ben Mendelsohn because he's the best since Captain Marvel. Like he's the best thing about Captain Marvel, the first film. I love him. He's great. He has great funny moments in this episode, which we'll get into. I mean, him saying that he's the most attractive person in his race is hilarious.
Hey, yeah, you're right. That was really good.
And then the midlife crisis, that was so funny. And then Nick Fury's applied when his midlife crisis started. It was because the Avengers.
No, they did a good job of infusing some nostalgia. They did a good job with it. They did a good job of mixing a little bit of everything, right, Cyber? Wouldn't you say so, Cyber, that they did a good job of mixing in the nostalgia, filling in some gaps, right? Overall, across the span of the episode, right? Kind of explaining, that sort of reminding us by multiple characters, right? That Fury has kind of just decided to be hiding, almost in a way, on Saber. Right, and like some people haven't been very happy about it, apparently, right? That he just kind of like decided to hide or whatever and whatnot. What'd you think of that intro, Cyber? Did you feel like that really set up a premise before we led into that new MCU intro, right? For the episode that set a certain tone that really like fit the episode?
Honestly, I mean, it's a solid beginning. That getting Martin Freeman, who is a Skrull in disguise, with that conspiracy guy, and basically him almost trying to kill him, and he ends up being shot. You have that kind of good intro, giving a little Martin Freeman because a lot of people love Martin Freeman as his character, and I was very happy to see him play the character again. And my first thought was, why is he here in Moscow? The last time we saw him, he was going to Wakanda, because the Wakandans were helping him because he helped them. So I was like shocked. Why is he all of a sudden in Moscow? And so after that happens and we find out it's not really Martin Freeman and that it's actually a Skrull, and that, basically jumps to his death, which was interesting. And I mean, even the graphics there that they used to show his leg broken and all that kind of stuff was really well done. And I thought it was really interesting that's kind of the way they started it out, giving you kind of like this adventure already going on in the process where Samuel Jackson's going to get pulled down into it. And so, of course, the intro, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it looks that great. I don't think it's anything fantastic. I think it's pretty bland. And I'm not a big fan of the music either for that intro. I thought it was okay. Probably not my favorite of the ones they've done for the different movies or for majority of the TV shows, but it was interesting. But I mean, going in and we get to see Fury come down. He's beamed down from the space station, and he's met by Maria Hill. I thought it was kind of funny. That's how they started the first episode off, with Maria Hill right there. And I think it was kind of, I feel kind of they brought her in right there, was kind of get a little bit of a closure with those two characters, because the last time they saw each other really was they blipped, and then at the end of Endgame, they got re-blipped. So I think that it's kind of like, kind of a way for them to kind of get them back in the mix, like to get these characters a little bit back together to kind of give you that nostalgia like you were talking about. And so them meeting and then going to meet Talos, which was really fun. I love Ben Mendelsohn that plays Talos. I absolutely love that guy. He's fantastic. The first movie I ever saw him in, Vertical Limit, back in 2000. He was fantastic in that film. And I knew this guy was going to be a fun freaking amazing actor or even comedian if he did comedy more, because the character he played in the Vertical Lemon was very comedic. And I'm like, this guy's awesome. So, through the years, when he would pop up, I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's awesome. And so I was happy to see him back, and that they kept kind of him in that form versus having to switch back and forth between the Skrull look and Ben Mendelsohn's character look. So I was kind of happy that they, pretty much this whole episode that he was just in that form. And so them kind of meeting back up, them touching heads and everything was kind of interesting, showing that they had this really long relationship, that they have come to a certain agreement since, they first met in Captain Marvel. And I thought it was, great to see that they had that great camaraderie going still all these years later, 30 plus years. And so then we roll into, basically them having the conversation at that bunkhouse, and kind of getting Fury kind of caught up in everything, and him having to go take a stroll. I thought was kind of interesting how they did all that and all that kind of good stuff, and how they kind of, pull Fury back, giving him kind of that, a little bit of information to kind of get him caught up. But at the same time, I think there's stuff that they weren't telling him yet, because they wanted to see where Fury was at. Because that was one thing that they have done a lot in this first episode, and even at the very beginning of this episode, where they were like saying, you're not the same Fury we knew before the blip. You're not the same Fury that we knew before the blip. They did that a lot with this. And so yes, I think throughout the series, what's going to end up happening is we're going to see the Fury that we see now, and then we're going to see him progress back to his original form. I think that's kind of what they're going to do with this, because even if you watch the trailer, you kind of see that throughout the trailer too. You see him kind of beginning, and then you see him officially become Fury again. So I think that was kind of a fun idea, and that's really great that I'm glad they get right into the meat saying, you're not Fury, you're not your normal Fury. This is not working. So him going for the walk, getting introduced to Olivia Colman was really fun. Him saying, talking about her clocks, and then him saying, I think you would remember that I like brandy. And I think it's really fun. And their whole conversation was interesting. And I love how he's like, I might not realize if a Skrull is a human, but I do know when a human is lying. And he makes that point, and she's kind of like, well, you're kind of not, and once again, pointing out, you're not really Fury right now. You're not really Fury. So I don't know if that is like kind of also pinpointing that maybe the Fury we're seeing might be a Skrull too as well. I don't know if that's going to be something they're going to do, because he was Talos and his wife were pretending to be Maria Hill and Nick Fury in Spider-Man Far From Home. So I think, there is possibility maybe they might go in that direction. I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm saying that could be a possibility with some of those phrasings that they've been doing. But overall, that beginning intro kind of coming in and being introduced to these different characters is really fun. And I like how they do it very smoothly, and they get right to the point and get you right to know who they are and what they're about, and we get kind of that sweet, kind of small little introduction to Dylan McDermott, or Delmont Mulroney. And then, we get to see Don Cheadle as Rhodes again, very briefly. So that whole beginning section was really, I think, really well done, and got right into the meat of it and give us all those great, little cameos.
Andres, do you want to jump in there? Cyber kind of went ahead a little bit and went past the intro and got into what was a great scene. Really, honestly, with with Sonya Falsworth, who of course is essentially a high-ranking MI6 agent, right? Yeah. Who is investigating these various rebellious Skrull factions that they're aware of. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I believe all the intelligence agencies probably at least in the West, the democratic side of the world probably are aware of what's going down and have been aware for quite a while. As Cyber mentioned, this goes back 30 years ago, right? I mean, now it's made clear from jump, real quick, Andres, just as a premise that, when Fury finally first talks to Talos, he brings up Gravik, right? Like Hill's
Yeah.
already filled him in about Gravik, who is the villain of the series, because he is essentially just a dissatisfied Skrull that felt abandoned by Captain Marvel, by Fury, by everyone from the Captain Marvel film that had promised that they would help them find a planet, find a home. And then he just went out and he recruited other Skrulls that were, pissed off too, or young, or disaffected, and that's who he managed to convert into his cause. Right now, so Andres, I mean, Cyber's right. That scene with Sonya and Fury is great, because obviously they've had a romantic relationship before, right? And there's a lot of sexual innuendo in there. And it's really actually cool to see Fury flirt. But, I thought it was really fun. That was funny as hell when he was like, if you remember, so-and-so and whatever crap you were talking about, call her brother or whatever, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
so
or the brandy that was funny too.
yeah. No, the whole dialogue was great. But again, it is a different kind of tone. There wasn't a lot of action in this episode. There was a lot of great dialogue and great acting and great writing. So what did you think, as Cyber kind of went ahead a little bit with that intro, expanded it? What did you think of, the engagement between Hill and Talos, and Fury engaging with Talos initially, right? Talking about Gravik, explaining Gravik, and then him mentioning the loss of his wife and that emotional moment.
Yeah, so I like the emotional moment, and really, when we get to Amelia Clark's character about the wife's death, but I was not happy that they kill off her character, because the last time we saw her was in WandaVision, right? So, I don't know, I mean, I don't know, if you guys were angry at the ending, I was a little pissed off they kill off Talos' wife, because I really like the actress, and she's a cancer survivor, so I'm very, very happy she's playing that role. But yeah, I didn't like that they killed off screen. Maybe we'll see it in a flashback, maybe, but yeah. But as I think passing that out, I really like the friendship between Talos and Nick Fury. That was the best thing about this episode. I actually really like the chemistry between Ben and Samuel Jackson, and seeing their growing friendship over the last 30 years. They trust each other, and despite Fury not upholding his promise with the Skrulls to find a new home, it's interesting that Talos is still sticking up with Fury. Because we get confirmation he's no longer part of the Skrull counselor, thing, and he's exiled. So that's really fascinating. So I'm just kind of curious now if we'll see more of a fraction of the Skrulls, because we know that there's Skrulls living on Earth. They probably don't know about this rebelling society that Gravik is building up. So I'm very curious where we're gonna go with see more other Skrulls that are going to be siding with Talos. Yeah, Hill and this is probably the best Hill and Fury on screen development for a while, because
Save the scene you're going to talk about. Save it. I want to ask you guys about it specifically.
I'm just mainly talking about that. And
okay, in general. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that it's great to see more, them talking to each other, and you get the sense they've been, together as partners in crime, and being in these crazy events for the last 13 years or 15 years in our time. I don't want to get into how many years it's been with with the play and all that. But
this
yeah.
is the year 2025 in the MCU time.
Okay, I'm not gonna count, but yeah, it's been many years since 2008, or 2012 when we see Hill, because Hill first popped up in the Avengers. But yeah, I think it was great to see Riri Hill, and getting more to do, because she's always there, and we never get a chance to see more of her characterization, and her depth as a character. So I'm very excited to see what we're gonna do with her, and whatever we're gonna do with her in this series. But Fury, I'm very excited because oh my god, Samuel L. Jackson's great. I mean, he's awesome. Like when he's interrogating that scroll, he's like sitting down and like the chair, and he's like being so like Samuel L. Jackson, like Pulp Fiction days.
Hold on. You're
Oh,
I only wanted you to go a little bit farther than the intro. So let me step back for 1 second.
Yeah. So, the president. So we got the new president. So
Yes.
he's not going to be here for a while because we know that Ross, Harrison Ford is going to take over Ross and
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. So I wonder if he's going to be Skrull. Like that makes a lot of sense, right? Like the president is going to be the Skrull. I'm betting in that because, or he's going to be killed by one of the Skrull rebellion. Maybe later.
I already assumed that he was a Skrull right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I think it's either that or he's going to be killed in the lion action or something like that. So, but it was great to see John Cheadle again.
Yeah.
I do like him as War Machine, and hopefully he gets more to do in the series. Hopefully, because this series should set up Armor Wars and later in.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Armor Wars in 2023.
Huh.
Or it should be 2033. That's what we're gonna get. That's when Armor Wars is gonna come out, Phase 11.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, besides that, I guess Olivia Colman, I'm very excited to see her character. I think her banter with Sam was great. So is she a Skrull?
No.
Like, okay. Are you sure? Well, no.
She's not a Skrull.
She's not a Skrull, right?
No.
Because the way Sam and Talos talk about her.
No. What Fury tells Talos essentially is that she'll scorch Earth any motherfucker any Skrull she sees. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like they'd rather like chop up and like study Skrulls and shit and whatnot and kill them than like even talk to them. You see what I'm saying? They don't differentiate between the different factions. They don't care. That's what he was telling Talos. He was like, Talos, like, I like this chick, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
That may very well be Fury's wife. I don't know. I'm not sure. They haven't. They're gonna over the series. They'll flush it out. But that may be his wife from back in the day. He was married at one point.
His wife is going to be in the show. So that's Olivia Colman's character is not going to be his wife. His other wife, like his wife from the comics, is going to be in the show.
Oh, okay.
No. That's happening. It's just not. It's not with Olivia Colman. She's just like an old friend during the spy years.
No. Yeah, they're comrades. Yeah, of course. That's how intelligence works.
Yeah. So thank you, Jeff, for confirming about Olivia Colman's character not being Skrull because I was a little confused. What?
No.
Okay.
But then again, you never know, though, right, Cyber? That's the whole point of the Secret Invasion deal. Anybody could be a fucking Skrull. We don't know, other than Fury and Talos, right? And obviously, we know now because of Hill and what happened at the end. We know she wasn't a Skrull, or she would have became one right there. Right, you know what I'm saying? So, like, other than that, though, we don't know who the fuck is a Skrull. Right? We don't. You don't know. Cheeto could be a Skrull. War Machine could be a Skrull. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the president was the president. We'll never know until we get to the finale, and even then, we might not know. This is going to tie into the Marvels. So, Cyber, I don't know much about Olivia Colman. I really don't. I've heard that I've read about her. And I've heard that she's a wonderful actress. She's really, really good and been solid in some films before. Have you seen her in anything before? Did you know about her going into the series?
Yep. She was in Hot Buzz back 2007. She's a British actress, so she's been in a lot of British films. But she really got her acclaim when she won her Oscar for playing the Queen in The Favorite with Rachel Weisz and Emma Watson. And she won.
Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone. I meant, yeah. Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz. And she was in that, and she won the Academy for that role. But she's done a lot of little parts in little films and stuff like that. And my favorite role, of course, is her Hot Buzz role. She was hilarious in that. Super funny. And so I already knew about her coming into this, and I enjoy her. I think she's a good actress.
No, I think they did a great job with the casting. I think that Kevin Feige, and I'll pull this up in a minute, but Feige flat out said about the series in the little bit his few words in his few remarks, Cyber, when he's talked to the, you know how he is with talking to media and whatnot when they ask him about this stuff. All he said was that he's excited for the series, going to be great, and that it is a vehicle for Mendelsohn and Samuel, right, for Fury and Talos to be able to be paired together based off Captain Marvel. Like, so essentially from that perspective, what I would assume is that that's the one good thing they took out of that film was that dynamic, right? Would that make sense to you? Because I thought that Mendelsohn, I thought from jump when, as Andres mentioned, the interrogation scene, I thought they were so great together right there. Their chemistry as actors, you know what I mean? Of course, they're spotlighting them too, but still, they're just. I don't know if it's just that they have that good chemistry, or they're both just so good at what they do. But he basically said that that's what it is. It was a vehicle for them, right? So does that make sense to you? Could you see why, based off Captain Marvel, Feige would want to go in that direction, would pair them up?
Yeah.
I think they're just two good actors, and they realized, hey, we can get two good actors to be in this. Let's do it. That's my whole thoughts on that.
Yeah. No, hey, at least they got something good out of Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah. I mean, Sam is coming back to the sequel of the Marvels, and it seems like he's going to have a big role. So.
Oh yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. I don't see Talos going anywhere either. They're not going to die. I don't think during the series. Some people are.
No.
It's being rumored that after Secret Invasion, Fury may Samuel might stick around and he might rebuild the new Avengers team. We don't know. We just don't know for sure yet. But it may happen. You know, I mean, he seems like he's in pretty good damn shape to me. But that interrogation scene was great. It really was. Cyber, your thoughts are on that interrogation scene itself. And I love Talos. I love Mendelsohn. He can come off like a fucking real hardcore son of a bitch sometimes. Like seriously, like I mean, he's when he's Talos Fury, like, yo, this is my fight. Right? I was like, fuck yeah.
Who are you talking to?
You.
What were you asking? I didn't hear a question.
I asked you what you thought of the interrogation scene, sir.
Which interrogation scene are we talking about? You talking about the scene where the Indian guy ends up being a Skrull? Okay.
Yes. After Gaia pops up and whatnot, and we find out that she's Talos' daughter and everything and whatnot. At that point, that interrogation scene.
Okay. With Mendelsohn, it's actually before they meet. Before they meet Gaia. Yeah.
No, but with Mendelsohn and Samuel L. and whatnot, and Fury and Talos.
All right. So yeah, I mean that's a great sequence. The fighting in it was really done well. I like it. You know that they keep the Skrulls. They're tight. Evil. They're able to knock things out like superpowered people and stuff like that. But yet they die so easily if they're shot, which I always crack up at. But they do it so well in that scene where they have them fighting. It was really fun. I like how they did it. I like how when Mendelsohn first takes on the guy and he like puts his fist right into the wall and it's like bent in and stuff like that, and then they go at it and stuff. And Mendelsohn keeps saying to Samuel Jackson, "No, this is my fight." And eventually, Samuel Jackson, shooting the guy, totally can tell that once again pointing out Fury is not ready for this fight. Fury is not Fury right now. And so I think that was another good indication. I felt like I was saying earlier, they really pinpoint that so much to this episode that there's something different about Fury. Fury's not Fury. And each little scene, I feel there's a little tidbit that they kind of focus on to show Fury there's something off with Fury. And I think they did that with this scene too as well. But the whole scene was just so well constructed, just like them asking the questions. Samuel Jackson said, "You get one free lie, you don't get a second." And then the guy keeps lying, and he's like, that's two now. I told you only got one." And he's like, "Are you gonna shoot me?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe." And that totally felt like Fury there. That was like such a Fury light I felt. And then Mendelsohn going in and start battling. It was really cool. I love the whole like this is a King George chair. Like, what? You got another room of this stuff? When the guy suggests to go into another room to talk, and that was like super funny and great part about that too. And even leading up to them getting in there to talk to the guy, like Andreas said earlier, he's like them having to talk about midlife crisis, and he's like, and Samuel Jackson's like, yeah, you're not too bad for a 136-year-old guy. It's like I'm only not even 40, and I'm cracking up, going, well, medicine, you're 50, so I don't know why you're saying that, but okay, that's super funny, and so I was like thinking to myself, like, you're supposed to be only 40. I'm cracking up here. What, you look so old for 40, and him saying, I haven't had my midlife crisis. And I, for some reason, I don't remember people being in their 40s having midlife crisis. I usually thought it was in their 50s. So that was kind of funny too when he mentions that. And then he goes, what was your midlife crisis? And Samuel Jackson, the Avengers. That was actually a great line. That was absolutely freaking fantastic. It's super funny and just really great. But yeah, the whole interrogation scene was really done well, and I really enjoyed it.
No, and before I go ahead right there and just ask you about the interrogation scene itself, Andres, I just want to lay out quickly that I want to mention, because I do believe, if I remember correctly, that and I actually wanted to share this with you guys as well. I'm going to screen share really quick and whatnot, having to do with Olivia Colman. A little sidebar here. Now, I thought this was actually very interesting. Now, right here, she actually says, the award-winning English actress, she actually says during a press conference for Secret Invasion that she reveals that she had been campaigning for a Marvel role for years. After every Marvel film that's landed in cinemas, I phoned my agent and said, please get me in Marvel. Coleman shared. Coleman leaped to the chance to join Secret Invasion, but was slightly disappointed that her character wouldn't have powers. I kept asking if I could be bitten by something or fall into a vat of something. They were having none of it. And I'll tell you honestly, I can just imagine her talking like that in her English accent, and it probably sounds funny as hell, like her charm and wit and everything.
Yes.
The way she delivers and speaks. But now, before the interrogation, go ahead, Andres.
Yeah, speaking of Coleman's character, her character is a comic book character. I'm trying to remember. I think she's the mother or some relative to another Marvel character that they can bring in later in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That is Captain Britain. So, like they can do. I kind of wonder if they can make her be a mutant, because Captain Britain is a mutant in the comics. So, like, we are building up to the mutants. So, I don't see that far-fetched for them to make her be a mutant, or something like that. Vein. But yeah, Olivia Colman, she's great. She's so funny. Besides the favorite, you need to watch Broadchurch, the TV show that stars her and stars the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. That's a great crime show that I think Jeff, you, and Cyber will like. It's really brilliant show. She's incredible. I want to bring up Emilia Clarke's character, because this section, the interrogation, like we saw bits of her before the sequence.
Let me jump in there, because that's actually what I was going to mention. Now, Sonya Falsworth is an original character of the MCU. She's not from the comics.
Okay.
All right, she's an original character. They created her for the comic books. You could loosely connect her to James Montgomery Falsworth, who was a British agent in the Marvel comics during World War II, but that's about it. As far as Gaia goes, Emilia Clarke. Now, when we did we did the preview shows for Secret Invasion and talked about Secret Invasion years ago, 2 years ago, or whatever, and whatnot. And recently, the understanding was for this entire time was that she was going to be playing Abigail Brand, the mutant, right, from the Marvel comics, who actually was the commanding officer who ran what they call the Peak, right, in the comics, which is whatever they're calling it now, the space station that Fury was at and whatnot and everything. In the comics, it's called the Peak. It's yes.
Yeah.
No, they have a different name for it now. They call it
what is it called? It was weird.
No, it's called
Let me check.
Oh, it's all right. I'll find it. Either way, okay. No, but bottom line, we I mean, even like, I mean, they've changed it now on Wikipedia and IDBM, but they were saying forever that she was going to be playing this character that's a mutant, right? That where in the comics, long story short, she's born alien by an alien mother or by an alien father, right? And a human mother that happens to have the X gene, who then passes the X gene on. She ends up working for SWORD, right? And ends up being the commander of the Peak, the space station that, that Fury was at and whatnot and everything. She's never an X-Men or anything like that, whatnot, but she is a mutant that has the power and the ability to essentially emote heat off of her fingertips and hands and generate that heat to levels to where she can burn and sort of melt through anything, essentially. Like, and there's no door, there's no substance that she can't essentially get through. That's what she does with her powers. Apparently, that's not going to be the case here, because I mean, now she's going to be Talos' daughter. She is, they show her as being a part of Gravik's faction, being a part of that group, and essentially recruiting a disaffected young Skrull, right, and sort of giving off the impression of almost like a mother figure. Right, like a savior, helping out, another Skrull. She then takes him to, I guess you could call their almost like base of operations, which is called, I believe, New Skrullos. She says, and she especially gives him food and tells him, yes, we only eat and only grow Skrull crops. We only drink Skrull wine, right, and whatnot. So. Essentially at that point, where we see that she's with Gravik's faction, we see Gravik for the first time. They grab a Russian military operative, and he sits down and has another Skrull warrior agent take his skin, and then they connect him to the same type of machine with the same type of colored energy from the Captain Marvel film that they used to brainwash Captain Marvel to take his mind, which is a part of the bomb plot that's set up as a premise from the beginning of the intro, right? And she's sent on a mission to deal with Keller, the gentleman who ends up being a Skrull that they interrogate and whatnot and everything, right? And it ends up being revealed to us that she is Talos' daughter, right? And he tells her about the death of the mother. Now, what I was wondering, honestly, Andres, was, as Cyber mentioned, Fury should not have shot that Skrull. Talos was pissed because, like, he wanted him alive. You can't get information from a dead body, right? So Cyber killed it right there. He made a really good point there. That's not, Fury should know that. He should not have shot him. Do you think that he did that out of an emotional connection with Talos? In his own, just out of his own, for his own safety?
I mean, I think it was more like Talos was losing the fight, and so he has to step in. And,
that's my point.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, what else you can do? It was just,
No, I get what you're saying, but what were you going to say? What did you want to say about the Emilia Clarke character?
Oh yeah, so I mean, the speculation was crazy for her and her role in this film, in this show. I'm sorry. So it makes sense that she was the daughter of Talos, and I thought she was great. I like Emilia Clarke as the character here. She brought, like, she's really good at the action scenes, and I like her connection with Bendis Talos. I think that's a really interesting dilemma for him and for her as well. So it adds more drama. So like already she's doubting the cause that Gravik is doing. So we'll probably see maybe later in the show she will turn against him, Gravik, the main villain, and join her father, maybe, because you don't know what happened. So I thought she was great. I was very shocked that we got her in this first episode. So I was very happy. And I was happy to see more scroll stuff. Like from their like culture. Like we saw, uh, Talos meeting up with Fury. About the plant that they grow in their planet. That was kind of cool. And then the food. Later when we see Clark taking the scroll um, person to the shelter. So like that was really cool to see like more of the scroll culture. And yeah, and the machines that take the memories of the people. We saw that in the first Captain Marvel, where Talos was trying to look in memories just to locate the Tesseract. Because the scientist that was played by and somebody it was Val, Marvel was helping the Skrulls to escape. So that was kind of neat to connect that. So I guess one thing I hope we see more of that was my least favorite was the villain Gravik. I mean, the actor is really great. I mean, he's great in the show the OA. I know he's great. He's great in the One Night in Miami Oscar film. That was great. Um, I thought I wish we had more Gravik talking and like get more in his head. Because we're hearing so much of Gravik from the heroes stuff, but at the same time, I wish we maybe saw him more talky and like get more a perspective, like what he's doing and why he's doing this, taking having the scrolls take over the Earth. But with him showing someone towards the end is going to be big, and I think that is maybe a good start for Kravik to be maybe the best villain. We'll see. Like Kinsley Ben, yes, that's the actor's name. So he's really good, and I hope we see more of him and more talk and get more into his character's mind.
Most definitely. Now, I've got trailers. I'm going to drop one of them right now and everything. But Cyber, I just wanted to ask you quick as we kind of leap into the episode and then get into the ending. What did you feel? How did you feel personally as an MCU fan yourself? A big MCU fan like we all are. How did you feel that they handled the nostalgia? And were you happy with how they infused some of the stuff with the blip? And right, what I'm saying? And kind of like, I guess maybe across the series, they're probably going to give us more information, more flashbacks, more stuff to, show us kind of what happened back, then or whatever, whatnot. But the blip stuff that came up, did you get any nostalgic, vibes out of, at certain points of the episode besides just seeing Hill?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear Cyber. Sorry. I just didn't hear. Anyways, well, you kind of asked this question earlier, the nostalgia part. And yeah, I mean, the nostalgic part was done really well. Bringing in Marie, having them have their conversations and stuff like that. Especially that scene where they're at the bar after, the fight. And, her basically saying, once again, you're not your Fury. You're not Fury right now. You should, you have no problem. You said if you aren't 100% sure, you step away. You're not doing your Fury thing. You're usually 3 steps ahead, etc., etc. And so that kind of nostalgia, especially with Maria Hill for Nick Fury, was a very pivotal thing because, like everyone mentioned earlier, the first time we saw Maria Hill was in 2012 in Avengers, and that's when Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury was really kind of in command of the Avengers. And that nostalgia is very strong and something to really kind of bring back the fans into it. It'll make the fans want to watch it and want to keep watching because it's very nostalgic. And I think that was very smart on their part because with how bad pretty much everything else has been for the MCU, they needed to bring that back in order to get fans to want to come back to the MCU. So that was very smart of them to do that, and to give that kind of scene was done really well.
No, and let's be honest here, just like Andre said, Colby Smulders is a pretty damn good actress. She's not that bad. And honestly, again, folks, look, this is all spoilers the whole time, baby. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that we're pretty much all sure that she dies at the end of the episode. And honestly, I felt like that connection, Cyber, between that conversation, that dialogue, what unfolds in that final scene, and then her being shot, right? I thought that paralleled itself in a way. If that makes sense, that it sort of tied in a way, that she dropped that profound shit. Like even she's more ahead of the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even she's questioning Fury. Of all people, you wouldn't expect Maria Hill to question Fury and him being on his game and whatnot and everything. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is just that I feel like for the ending to go the way it did, as sad as it was, with the title being Resurrection, right? I feel like maybe Fury needed something like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that it was interesting almost. And for me personally, it was almost like a parallel to see her have that dialogue with him and then have it end the way it did. But again, who knows? Maybe she'll be alive and we'll see her in episode 2. We don't know. I could have swore I saw stuff in the trailers that is not in that episode. So
I mean, we have to be careful. Like, trailers always misdirect us, and so like half of it is still going to be in the series. So
no, you're right about that.
So,
Speaking of which, here, I'll go ahead and drop one right now.
Fury, since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse. How do you think I came back?
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
This is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet. Do you feel responsible?
Where are the Avengers?
This war is one I have to fight alone.
You're the most wanted man on the planet.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
The great Nick Fury. One last fight.
For years, you've been avoiding Earth. But I have called for your help plenty of other times, and you've been pretty content to let those calls go straight to voicemail.
Yeah, well, this is different. How much do you know about your security detail?
What do you mean, how much do I know about him?
Fury, we gotta be very careful now.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us.
This is just the beginning.
This is my war alone. And I'm the last person standing between them and what they really want. And what is that?
God damn, that shot there at the end of that trailer is fucking epic, man. With that white light, I love it. Now, real quick before I just bounce over to you, Cyber, and you, Andres, in the trailers in relation to the episode, I did want to just mention quick also that, hey, they did a great job with how Olivia Colman's character pulled off the grab of Fury that led up to that conversation with the child, with the ball and all that and whatnot set up that then tied into later. I love that that's how she went about, how she goes about her business like that. I didn't mention that, but that was really neat. I did not know what to think of that at first, and then I was like, oh, okay. I get it. But now, Cyberneticshark. Obviously, we see a lot of the first episode in that trailer. In those trailers, we do. Now, I guess my only question would be for you in general, just, do you feel like the trailers did a good job at least conveying what we got so far in this first episode?
Yes, 100%.
Fair?
Fair.
No Ant-Man 3, epic as shit, then blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so good to hear. Yeah. Andres, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like the trailers didn't oversell what we experienced and watched and listened to in this episode?
No, I mean, Marvel does a good job with their trailers. I mean, the Ant-Man 3 trailer was good, too. It's just, when you saw the film, it's not good. That's happened. It happens to every movie, So...
Boo, boo.
That was my point, man, that the fucking trailers were epic for Ant-Man 3 and shit and whatnot. And then it was like, in the theater.
Yeah. So, this trailer, I mean, as we've been discussing, that trailer gave you the sense of what kind of show.
Ant-Man 3 is the bomb.
Wait, you like Ant-Man 3? Okay.
I liked it too. I liked it.
Okay. I don't hate it. I actually liked it. I mean, I don't know. People were overacting with that movie. I thought it was better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it's number 2 for me as favorite Ant-Man film. But anyway, whatever. We'll get into Ant-Man 3 soon later. But yeah, so I thought the trailers were good. I'm very curious, like. Yeah, I'm very curious to see like now hearing that line, that the second trailer you show first, Fury saying this is personal. That makes sense now, seeing the first episode, so that's cool. Yeah, it's seeing his eye patch. I'm curious where we're gonna get the eye patch, because that's Nick Fury. Come on, so it's kind of cool they kept the cat scratch, it was before we knew that was a cat.
The Flurkin.
Yeah, whatever cat it was. Yeah, but trailers are good. I mean, Marvel Studios know how to edit their trailers to make me excited. So,
well, I'm glad they do, Andres. That's good to hear, brother. Now, essentially, we already basically covered and talked about the premise that sets up the final act of the episode. What I would say would probably be maybe about I guess it's probably maybe the third of the episode, a little bit less than that. It's a pretty good chunk where we do have Gaia reach out to Talos, right? And she's obviously, you can see right from jump, she's second guessing. She's right off the jump, she's second guessing the bombing, the killing, whatnot, everything, Gravik's plans. And she does give Talos all the dirt, all the information on the bombing. She explains to him what's going down, and everything and whatnot. She gives him what she can give him, right? And says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark the bags with, what is the term? Spray painted, whatever you call it, where you got to use the stupid, whatever. She's going to spray paint the bags. Infrared, yes. Spray paint the bags, right? And at that point, we end up in a situation where I thought it was a great shot. And I really did think it was a great scene. We get an ending scene where it's essentially the action, the best action we sort of get in the episode in a way, maybe, but also sort of more of a spy chase, sort of like, espionage kind of angle type scene where we get Hill teamed up with Talos with Fury, right, trying to stop this bombing, while at the same time Gaia is sort of on their side at this point. Okay, so at that point, guys, I mean, we know what happens there. It's really well shot, right? It's really well shot. The backgrounds of the celebration or whatever they're having there, that festival, that parade, or whatever that is, they're having in Moscow. That addition, I thought that as the scenery, as the background, obviously the bombing is purposely done for this reason, for the biggest body count possible. The group that Gravik heads wants, they're finally ready to like take it to the to really cause this wide open world war, right, and be the instigator or the spark of it, sort of secret agent style, and sort of blame this attack right on the U.S. With Russia. Now, basically, bottom line, we get what I'd say again, Cyber, like you said, is like a very fast paced, very just like quick shot, jump from character to character as they're sort of like, wading through people, trying to find these bombers, trying to find the bombs, stop them. And, I guess you could almost say trying to find Gravik. And essentially we end up with, we even before we even start, we see the child again. And that's kind of like, Sonya's way of letting Fury know, hey, I'm here, right? Like, we're here too. We're watching. At least that's what I took it as. That's what I thought that when that indicated. Now, you guys tell me what you think. I thought it was very well shot. I thought it was a great, it wasn't too fast paced, but there was definitely some intensity there. There was some buildup there. It escalated, and it just really, unfortunately, sadly, ended up in a dynamic where they're not able to stop the complete bombing. Now, I will say, Cyber and Andres, I thought that how they pulled off the bombing, how that looked, the bombs exploding, whatnot, the way that they shot that, and the digital effects with it were great. I thought they were really solid. Now we end up with a Skrull as Fury, right? Reaching out to Hill, saying, "Hey, hey, Agent Hill, Maria," and then shooting him. And then we get a Fury on Fury with the Skrull shot, which is very Secret Invasion from the comic style type deal, where we get literally Fury on Fury, holding guns on each other, right? And then we end up actually seeing like Fury kind of break emotionally as the end of the episode like concludes. Like, you literally hear him like cry out in pain, right? Now they're fugitives, as like, as Rhodey said earlier during the episode, they're fugitives from jump. Fury abandoned Saber against, apparently he wasn't supposed to. He just came the hell off it and walked away. So he's a fugitive, and so is she. So he just had to take off and dip. But at that point, you tell me, Andres, that whole scene, your thoughts, sir? And then, obviously, again, we don't know, but I have to believe that Maria Hill's dead. I do believe that she's dead, that she was killed right there. And again, there's some emotional stuff in here. This is some really hard-hitting shit. And it's some really serious Marvel stuff here, like Cyber said. What did you think of it, of that whole scene?
Well, I thought the climax of it was pretty well done. I mean, it was very intense, and it definitely get you in the right mood for the series moving forward with the next 4 episodes or 5 episodes now. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. Now with the trailer we watch, Rhodey say you're the most wanted man. So now it makes sense. With this episode, when it's saying that he left and all that, so it makes sense now that it's going to be on the run, but we'll see. So I thought Samuel Jackson was a great great in this episode. I mean, sorry. He was great in this episode. I mean, he held it like he held it act like he held so good in acting in this at this episode. Like he was 100 committed. I mean, I don't know. You guys saw that he is producing the show as well. So that means he's very committed to this character in the show. So that's good. So yeah, I mean, the shock of killing Marie Hill, I was like, whoa! I didn't expect that. I was like, I know before the podcast, I was like, people bring up like, oh, a major death happened. I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not? And I wasn't thinking about Marie Hill to die. That's crazy. Like I was like, oh my god, come on! Like she's like the Robin for Nick Fury. Like she's always there since the Avengers, So it was very sad to see, Kobe Summers probably this is her last role, and if this is true, then we're gonna get maybe more backstory with her and Fury together in flashbacks, as they've been talking about in the press. Then I'm excited to see one last time with her and see like how this friendship has built since we met them. So I think right now I'm very excited, and this gives Nick Fury to become Nick Fury. Now he's like, okay, this is personal. I need to get this mother effort scroll now. I gotta take him down one by one, as Jules from Pulp Fiction. But yeah. So and also Talos, like now, like is this gonna create a distrust to his daughter because you don't know if this was a setup? Like it was a setup. Like they were tricked. Like was she part of it or not? So like that's the thing I like about this first episode in general was the intrigue, the gray area. Like who should we trust? Because we're dealing with shapeshifter creatures. So that was something that was lacking in the first Captain Marvel movie. Here it's like much more in depth of like I cannot trust these people. So I'm very curious if the daughter tell us what's behind this or not. We'll see. But
it causes a sense of confusion to where you question you can't trust anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially, you can't. No, you don't know who the hell is who, which I think they're going to build up to. But that's really well said, Andre. Cyberneticshark, sir. Your thoughts on that whole final scene, and then you want to redirect off of Andre's as well. Also, Colby Smulders to me, I still see as like almost like a something that's left over from our original 6, right? 2012, the Avengers. So for me, I mean that she's like family to me. Were you emotional at her loss?
No, I was not emotional. I was pissed that they killed her off. But just like anybody else says, you never know. She could come back. We don't know.
True.
But anyways, to go off with your question, this last section of the episode is really done well. I really like the whole concept. I love the conversation between Gia and her father Talos, him basically saying, your mother would be proud. Unfortunately she's dead, all that kind of stuff, and but she'd be very proud of you. And her basically saying, yeah, I'll mark the bags so that you guys can find them. They end up following the bags to that big fair area that they're having in Moscow, and we get that great explosion, which was really done well. Something that nobody has mentioned, I'm surprised, is did you not notice that Gravik appeared throughout the whole entire episode at certain points with Mr. Fury himself? Now, if you notice, if you go back and watch, I watched it twice now. I watched it twice. When Fury gets kidnapped by Olivia Colman's thugs, there's a girl with a ball. We saw that same ball later on in the episode at the end. 2, we see the old guy in the bar when Fury has the conversation with, what do you call it? That same girl that we end up seeing, the younger woman there that they show that he turns into. Number 2, she's the gal that's sitting on the bench that he's walking by that's kissing the guy. So throughout the whole entire film or episode, we see Gravik at certain points, meaning that Gravik, there's something different about his scroll abilities versus other people. So that's something I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on further down the road, because they did have a lot of him just pop up. Now, a theory I've heard, and the wife brought this up, is what if Gravik is actually Samuel Jackson's son? What if he's actually his kid? And that he was something, he had a relationship with another Skrull that became up. And that's the reason why he says he has a crisis that he had to deal with up top and on Earth that he could have come back to. So I'm thinking that there's something behind Gravik more than what we're hearing. And I think further down the road, we're going to find that. But I do think that. But anyways.
Well, one of his guys did come to him at that point, right? And let him know immediately, right? They knew when Fury was on Earth.
Yeah. So anyways, the ending of the episode is really done well. The action's fantastic. The changing of the Skrull was really fun. I loved how they had him do that, and that he ended up changing into Samuel L. Jackson to shoot Hill at the end of the episode, which I thought was really interesting. That he ended up doing that, which I think, once again, going back to what I was just talking about, maybe he shot Hill, like everyone has been saying. We were talking about the Resurrection title, that maybe shooting Hill was a way to help Samuel Jackson's Fury start to get back to the Fury he was. And that this whole plan is an elaborate hoax to kind of get Fury back to where he is and not where he's been lost. So I think that all is going to encompass further down the episode. But overall, the whole end of the episode was really done well until they shot Hill. That just pissed me off. I thought that was stupid. You want to bring nostalgia back. Why bring somebody back just to kill them? I think that's just a dumb idea. But hey, that's just my opinion. But at the same time, still a really solid episode and great ending.
Everything you see of her in the trailers, I did notice, is all from episode 1. There's nothing else in there that with her. It's all from episode 1, all of it. And yes, Cyber. Andres, I didn't mention this earlier. I did mention the girl with the ball, Cyber, and whatnot, and everything, and all that. Now that had to do with MI6. That was Sonya Falsworth. But now Gravik was there. You're right, multiple times. That was Gravik. That was Sonya. That was her calling card. That when they black bagged Fury in the beginning. That right there was the indication to him, right? Like that was part of the ruse of the black bag to distract him.
I also want to bring up another theory that people are bringing up as well, that maybe Gravik and these rebelling Skrulls could be super Skrulls. That's another thing that we have to remember, that in the Secret Invasion comic, the Skrulls captured the Illuminati, the team that you saw.
Yeah, but Cyber got it already. Gravik has abilities the other Skrulls don't have, but he's not the Super Skrull because there's no Fantastic Four.
No. They can change that up. Like, remember that the Skrulls are very super genius, and they're able to genetically enhance themselves to adapt to powers. We discovered that in Secret Invasion, the comics.
Yes,
and they can do that, and that could be a big reveal that Gravik could be this like hybrid, like this new species of Skrull that they can also adapt to. Because remember that first trailer we see Gravik doing like the stretch thing.
Gravik. It's Gravik.
Gravik.
Sir. Gravik.
Now you're fucking me up. Now I'm calling him Gravik. It's bad enough I mentioned crack all the time. Now you got me calling him Gravik. The fuck?
No.
Anyway. No, but Andre, Cyber's right though. We do see Gravik multiple times. We do see him. He's out there kind of trailing Fury, fucking taunting him almost. And I think Fury can tell. I think he detects it. And I'm wondering what that dynamic is too. What do you think, Andres? I mean, I don't know if he's Fury's son, but he definitely is pissed off at Fury personally. Like there's a personal vendetta there.
I don't know. I think Cyber's wife has a good point, because we're getting the wife, so that actually connects. And you look at the actor; he does look like Fury. like the young Fury. You think about it, so so there could be possibilities there. That and you know, or I cannot really trust the show if they really could commit to that, but I think it seems legit, because why is this Skrull so angry out for a promise that him and Cara Danvers promised 30 years ago? It's very interesting, weird, but it could be possible. This person in the chat, MJ, who's going to be an imposter among the OG characters according to you guys? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to extend that into the movies. But if they are going to do that, I mean, I can see War Machine to be the imposter because we're getting his Armor Wars, so that could happen. The president, like, I don't know if they're gonna do this with Captain America, but like maybe Ross could be the imposter, like the inside universe thing. Why he looks so different? That okay, he could be a Skrull. Okay, that makes sense. To explain, the casting change, whatnot. But yeah, then I don't know. Probably that's really it because they're not gonna take that risk.
Well, what do you think, Cyber? Do you think there's even going to be any OG characters from Marvel that they're going to turn into Skrulls? That they're going to extend this out that far?
You can't count it out. It's possible. I mean, you just can't. You don't. Marvel is very notorious for doing things that people don't expect and then do expect. So, I mean, at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen because they might need that in order to catalyst it to the storyline they need it to go to. So, I mean, the fact that in Far From Home, they have Maria Hill and Nick Fury both being played by Talos and his wife, right there proves that could happen. So, I mean, it's very possible that it could happen. Who knows? Maybe Rhodes is a Skrull.
I think he is.
Maybe some of the others are Skrulls. We don't know. And that's something that will end up happening because this is secret invasion. Think about it. Secret implies that there's things you're not going to know because they're kept secret. So an invasion of this sort would have them infiltrate things to a certain extent that we just don't know about. So that I feel that's very possible that they could do that.
And you know what? Even Fury did call out Talos at one point and even say to him that the other side, Gravik side, knows your vulnerability, right? Like you do care, like you are merciful, right? Like and look what ends up happening with Emilia Clarke, with her character, with Gaia. He basically shows that right there, that soft side of his, right? And it ends up kind of fucking him over. You know what I mean? Whatnot, because he trusts her emphatically because it's his daughter. Right. So, the old Fury, he's in there. And I'll tell you, honestly, when the content creator in me, when Hill died, I wanted to jump on my cell phone and jump on TikTok or some shit and be like, are you fucking kidding me? You just killed fucking off Agent fucking Hill? Come on now. What, are you kidding? But I did not, folks. I reined myself in. Now, go ahead, Andres.
I have a question. You brought up in the private chat about the Rotten Tomato score. This has a 66. Like, I was, when I first saw that, I was like, oh really? Seeing this first, because the critics saw the second episode. I don't know what's going to happen next week, but what do you guys think? You think this?
It doesn't matter. The first two episodes of this series are going to be better than all of those series combined.
Yeah. I saw your list. It's better than She-Hulk for me. It's better than Moon Knight.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hawkeye was so okay, but the only Gunner Hammer would agree that it deserves a 92% or whatever, whatnot. It was okay. And Moon Knight doesn't deserve an 86%. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Giving She-Hulk an 80%, what the fuck?
Yeah, She-Hulk should be a 75. 70.
No, we don't care. They're critics. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But Hawkeye 92 makes sense. I like it because it's grounded. That's the thing.
Last question before ratings. Do you think it's possible, Cyberneticshark, Andres, you first, Cyber, that this show might be too serious and too intellectually sort of framed, and sort of like maybe a little bit too highbrow in terms of that Falcon Winter Soldier vibe, that Captain America, Winter Soldier vibe. Do you feel like this show might be a little bit too hot, like too dramatic, or like too serious to where it might turn off some fans?
No. So the fact that people keep complaining that it's too comedic the last several films in the MCU. So no, I think it's perfect, and that's what people are looking for.
That's true. And you know what? Even though it does involve the Skrulls, it's Earth-based, right? It's ground-based. It's sort of street-based. And we all know that's people in the fandom are begging for that. That's why Daredevil is such a big key, and Spider-Man is such a big key, right? In phase 5 and phase 6, right? They're huge. Andres, what do you think, man? Do you think that sort of, I guess you could say, a la Andor, right? I know a lot of people that after the first episode of 1 and 2 of Andor, they never watched any more of it. They turned it off right there. They stopped. The Secret Invasion, is it? Do you feel like it'll catch people's attention? Is it too serious?
I think no. I think right now, I think it's just we see like the phrase, we see it, we've done it before. Like you see this kind of show of like conspiracy and international thriller. But it's with sci-fi. It's like, okay, in the strain. With the Death of Mary Hill, it's like it's not too shocked.
But this is different though. Marvel's never done anything like this before. This is a totally different kind of concept.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I mean, like, think about it. Like, you think about the twist of the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, or the Hydra thing in Winter Soldier. Like, something needs to be big that like will completely change the cinematic universe, like how the Hydra thing did for the Phase 2. So I think that this is definitely the Andor for Marvel. I think has to be layered episodes that will get people hooked for this show, And this first episode just didn't. I think, like it just did it in a very like soft way to get you to be hooked on the series. But I think it has to be a major thing, like something like Nick Fury is a Skrull, or as Cyber mentioned, from his wife, speculating that maybe this villain could be the son of Nick Fury. That will be crazy. That will be big in Twitter and all that freaking social media stuff. So it has to be that,
Maybe Gravik is your son, Andres.
That's true. I actually have 40 kids in separate timelines.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So he's actually my son. I forgot to tell you, he's an actor. I visit him. Just I mentioned about my London trip. I met him. I talked to my son there, and he said he's doing okay. I saw Samuel L. Jackson. I saw his job visit.
All right, Andres.
No, my son is here. So my son is beautiful. Please support.
Yeah. Cyber's my son. You're whatever. Basically, guys, give me your rating. Honestly, I think every episode of this entire series is going to be fucking awesome. I really do. And I told Cyber in the studio before the show that like I really am at a point where I don't think it makes any sense to like really overhype or over criticize episode 1s of these series. It makes no sense to me, right? Like it's a premise. Every series has to be established somewhere, right? Now at that point, I'm going to drop a solid 9.25 for episode 1 myself. Andres, what you got?
I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's a good start. It's a good episode. Nothing wild, but it's a great dramatic show to watch. It's better than it's better than half of Phase 4. It's better than Ant-Man 3. No offense to you Ant-Man lovers and Ant-Man 3 lovers, or whatever you call yourselves. Quantumania fans, whatever. But it's better than that. Yeah. Whatever, Cyber.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andres Diaz.
Oh, God, here we go again with this bullshit, man.
Excuse me, that's a podcast channel front page. Anyway, so 8 out of 10, great one. I mean, it's not. It doesn't beat Guardians Volume 3 for me, so it's up there.
Cyber, what you got for me, baby?
I give it a 7. You killed off Maria Hill. It drops down 3 points.
Oh, so it was going to be a 10 because I was expecting you to drop a 10.
It would have been a 10 if they hadn't ended it the way they did.
I see. So basically, then you're deducting an entire 3 points just because Maria Hill died.
Any character that I like dies, it gets 3 points deducted.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? I'm look, I'm pissed off now too. Tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be really dissatisfied with what happened. I really am. Knowing you know how I am with that stuff. Like tomorrow, it's really gonna hit me. Like, oh my god, they killed Agent Hill. Fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, for me, Colby Smulders was one of the highlights of the series for me. It really was. Going into it, I've always loved her. But yeah, folks, solid episode. If any of you out there don't agree with our ratings or whatever and whatnot, or our positive vibes in the review, give it a chance. Keep on rocking with it. All right, watch episode 2. It's going to be a good series. This is going to be a really solid MCU Marvel television series. Right, and let's lead right up into another fucking great one too. Right, and then they're going to dump a shit house on us for a third one. Can't wait. It's going to be a blast. Echo, baby, let's do it. But folks, it's plug time. I'm only going to plug the MCU Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. Please give us support. All right, give us love wherever you find us. We're on lots of platforms. Follow us, subscribe to us, like us, give us love. Drop nice things in the comment section, or say horrible things, whatever. Right? You know, and support us to 25,000. Besides that, I'm going to pull up the plugs for my gentlemen here on the panel to get them to 1,000 subs by the end of this damn freaking review series. We got 5 more of these bitches. Okay? It can be done. I will find something to give away by the end of the episode 6 to make that shit happen. You will see, guys. I'll find something. Now, Cyber, I will pull up your YouTube channel real quick. And no, it will not be a bag of crack.
But you love crack.
Only sometimes.
I think it's all the time. Anyways, folks, out there in great YouTube land, stream land, wherever you're watching this from, if you enjoy me here on the panel or enjoy me as a co-host or moderator on this show, have a go check out my solo content there, people. Some amazing content. I just recently uploaded a couple trailers, one for Doom Part 2, one for Oppenheimer, which is Christopher Nolan's new film coming out, which is being described as a horror film, actually, even though it's based on the true story of Oppenheimer, the guy that was one of the guys that made the first atomic bomb. Definitely something that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to checking it out when it comes out in July. But yeah, let's get me to that 1,000 mark. I think I'm currently still at 674, and it's kind of a tight race, 100 mark or so between me and Andres. So help us get to that 1,000 mark, in that time frame, which is 5 weeks. And I'll be having my flash review up soon. Just gotta edit it and put it up for you guys. And be keeping your eye out for any other new stuff coming up, some more trailers. I'll be definitely having No Hard Feelings review coming up soon. I'll be seeing that this weekend. And definitely keep your eyes out, people. Thank everyone for subscribing, and you guys are rocking it.
Hey, Silver Linings Playbook is a great movie. Love that one. Love Silver Linings Playbook. Oh, and by the way, folks, of course, next Wednesday, Secret Invasion episode 2. All 3 of us will probably be here, I'm assuming, and we'll have a bigger panel. Should be fun. Can't wait. 9:35 Eastern, or p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. This Friday, we're reviewing Casino. We're not?
Arachnophobia.
Oh, fuck. My bad. All right, I'm sorry. Arachnophobia, then Casino. I've got my schedule all messed up. It's not my fault, though. Cyber knows. Somebody fucked me up on Twitter. That's what screwed me up. It wasn't my fault. You know it, Cyber. Arachnophobia. I'm sorry. Arachnophobia. That's right.
Because I'm moderating this Friday. So.
Yes. Casino next Friday.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm gonna be in there, folks.
There you
Casino
go.
next
There you
Friday.
go.
There we go. And this Sunday, I'm doing the first part of a 3-part Andor season 1 recap. Same thing like I did with The Mandalorian. Do the same thing with Andor on Sunday. First episode of the MCU Bleeding Edge report on Monday. And I'll be solo probably. So who knows, man? I might go for 5 hours. So you never know. Could be fucking crazy, baby. Right? Hell yeah.
You could go for 10, I think.
No, I don't think I can do 10. No.
You got your crack.
No. Even I mean, honestly, you know.
Okay. My turn.
The crack's not very strong down here in Florida.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Cyber Jeff, for inviting me to this podcast, weekly discussion on Interrogation. I'm so excited for the next 5 weeks. So yeah, so here's my channel, Andreas, my first channel, Andreas Pop Culture Guy Channel Presents. I'm up to 775 subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone. Just hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, please. So just currently, I just posted out my Andreas Pop Culture Guy episode 4 that contains a trailer discussion on the Team and Team Mutant Mayhem. And of course, Chris and I did a spoiler cast on Spider-Verse. We want to discuss that. We love that. So, yeah. So tomorrow, you're going to see a top 10 favorite Iron Man villains list soon. Tomorrow. So I'm working on that. And it's almost done. So, yeah. I also sent my other link to my second channel. So, please, sir, pop that up.
I got you. Hold on 1 second. I got you, my friend.
Yes,
I promise
yes.
I do.
But
When are we gonna? When is Chris? When is Chris gonna join us?
Has to be the right time. Yeah. So here's my second channel, DC Marvel Plus Talk. As I mentioned earlier, this channel or discussion before this podcast. So I recently put a Man of Steel 10th anniversary tribute. Tomorrow, should be putting out a. I'm still debating either a Gwen Stacy tribute or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, so that's my content for now for the DC Marvel Plus Talk. So, and I'm up to 413 subscribers. That's again, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
That's right, folks. Come on now, let's make it happen. Cyber, I'm telling you, brother, I'm gonna think about this tonight. I'm gonna cook something up. All right, you know I've got some gift cards to give away. I do. I've got a bunch of them. We got some Amazon cards. We got some Regal Cinemas cards. I got some good shit. I've got some good gift cards to give away. Let me think of something I come up with. Folks, we really appreciate all of you. Thank you as always. Please support Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel. Please support Andre's Pop Culture Guy. Give them to 1,000. Support the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Support Marvel. Support the MCU. Support Marvel Studios. Support Kevin Feige. Right? Double down, baby. Resurrect your fucking love for the MCU fandom, bitch. What's up? Right? It's coming back. It ain't dead. It's still there. So are we. We'll see you next week. We'll see you Friday. We'll see you next year. For me, my son, and Andre's the Pop Culture Guy, and She-Hulk. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Hey. I said, excuse me, you don't understand where I'm at. I was all around the world, on span, across the map. I've been laying low and now it's time to pop up, bitch, I'm back. Now I'ma run it up. Snooze on the kid that you dumb or what?